Let me tell you something that shocked even me after 30 years in medicine. Roughly 90% of your body's serotonin, the key chemical that affects memory, mood, and even vision, is produced not in your brain, but in your gut. And yet, most seniors I meet have no idea how their digestion affects how clearly they think or how sharply they see. You might be taking supplements, drinking green juices, or doing memory games, but if your gut is sending the wrong signals, your brain never gets a fair chance. And that's not just theory. In a 2022 study from the University of Virginia, poor gut bacteria diversity was directly linked to increased cognitive decline and blurred vision in adults over 60. That's right. Your eyesight and memory are being shaped by the trillions of microbes in your belly. If you're new here, this is Senior Health Compass. And if you care about staying sharp and independent as you age, go ahead and subscribe. I promise to keep things real, practical, and backed by science. Now let's make this clear. You are not just getting old. You are not losing it. In most cases, your brain isn't broken. It's undernourished, starved of the signals that keep it firing and focused. And one of the most overlooked sources of that nourishment is fermented foods. Foods that are alive. Foods that repair the gut. And through that gut, they feed the neurons that control how you remember, how you think, and how well you see in the dark. And the best part, these aren't expensive superfoods from some exotic place. They're probably already in your fridge. Let me walk you through the top 4 fermented foods that do exactly that. We'll start with one that's creamy, affordable, and surprisingly powerful. Yogurt. You've probably eaten yogurt for your bones or digestion, but few people over 60 realize that a cup of yogurt may be doing more for your brain than many supplements combined. Here's why. Inside your brain, you have billions of neurons. They fire signals to help you recall names, process thoughts, and recognize faces. But to fire properly, these neurons depend on one thing above all else: neurotransmitters. These are chemical messengers like serotonin and GABA that help your brain stay calm, focused, and clear. And guess where most of those neurotransmitters are made? Not in the brain, but in the gut. That's where yogurt becomes a game-changer. Quality yogurt contains high levels of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, 2 powerful strains of probiotic bacteria. These microbes don't just improve digestion. They actively stimulate your gut to produce more neurotransmitters, reduce inflammation, and repair the gut lining so that the signals traveling up the gut-brain axis stay strong. In a 2022 clinical trial published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, seniors who consumed probiotic yogurt daily for 12 weeks showed significant improvement in memory, emotional stability, and sleep quality compared to those who didn't. Brain scans revealed increased activity in the hippocampus, the very center of learning and memory. But it doesn't stop at memory. Your eyes also rely on neurotransmitters. They help the retina adjust to darkness, track movement, and process images. When those signals weaken, you get blurry vision, poor contrast sensitivity, and trouble reading at night. A 2021 study from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry showed that restoring gut health through probiotics led to improved retinal response and lower oxidative stress in eye tissues in older adults. Here's a real-world example. An 68-year-old retired teacher I once worked with had been struggling with poor focus and nighttime vision. She started adding 1 cup of plain probiotic yogurt to her breakfast daily. Nothing fancy, just consistent. Within 6 weeks, she told me she could finally read comfortably before bed again, and her mood swings had almost disappeared. That's the quiet power of restoring microbial balance. For best results, go with plain unsweetened Greek yogurt or organic whole milk yogurt that clearly states live active cultures on the label. Avoid fruit-flavored ones loaded with sugar, which cancels out the benefit. You can enjoy it with berries, a sprinkle of chia seeds, or just a drizzle of honey. I often recommend taking it as a small breakfast or early evening snack, timed right before the brain settles into repair mode. And the best part, unlike pills or powders, yogurt is food. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. So before you reach for your next memory supplement, consider this. Your brain might just be waiting for a spoonful of the right bacteria. You've heard of miso as a soup. But if you're over 60, you should start thinking of miso as brain and eye medicine served in a spoon. Because one of the biggest threats to your brain after 60 isn't trauma or stroke. It's a slow, invisible enemy called inflammaging chronic low-grade inflammation that builds up in your nervous system over time. It attacks memory cells, dulls your thinking, and weakens visual signals from the retina to the brain. You won't feel it happening, but you'll notice the signs. Foggy afternoons, slower recall, difficulty adjusting your eyes in dim light. This is where miso becomes essential. Made from fermented soybeans and a culture called kuji, miso is rich in bioactive peptides, isoflavones, and beneficial microbes. These components help regulate immune response, especially the cytokines responsible for inflammation in the brain and optic nerves. A 2020 study in Nutrients showed that older adults who regularly consumed fermented soy foods like miso had lower levels of TNF-alpha, a key marker of neural inflammation. They also had higher levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein vital for memory formation and neuron repair. In 2021, the Journal of Food Biochemistry reported that peptides in miso suppress acetylcholinestearase, an enzyme that rises with age and contributes to memory breakdown. By slowing this enzyme, miso helps maintain stronger communication between brain cells. Your eyes benefit too. The retina is packed with light-sensitive neurons that degrade with age, especially under oxidative stress. A 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition found that fermented soy compounds improve blood flow to the retina and reduce oxidative damage in photoreceptor cells. That means sharper vision, better light adaptation, and protection from long-term visual decline. The power of miso isn't from one single nutrient. It's the result of a months-long fermentation that transforms soybeans into a living, healing paste. When consumed properly, it brings calm to the gut, balance to the immune system, and protection to the brain. But miso is delicate. Never boil it. High heat destroys the microbes and peptides. Instead, stir 1 teaspoon into warm soup after removing it from heat. You can also blend it into dressings or broths as a savory base. 2 to 3 small servings per week are enough to create measurable impact. And no, it doesn't need to be complicated. You're not treating a disease. You're supporting the natural systems that keep you thinking, remembering, and seeing clearly. So the next time you feel your mind slowing down, don't just look to pills. Look to your bowl. Because miso doesn't just flavor your food, it fortifies your neurons from within. It might surprise you that something as humble as fermented cabbage can help restore mental clarity and visual sharpness, but that's exactly what real sauerkraut does when it's alive, unpasteurized, and consumed regularly. Sauerkraut is more than a digestive aid. It's a neurosupportive food rich in lactic acid bacteria that influence neurotransmitter production, immune response, and inflammation. The gut and brain are connected by the vagus nerve, and when that connection is disrupted through poor diet, aging or stress, thinking slows, memory slips, and vision fades. Fermentation transforms cabbage into a living food. It creates high levels of Lactobacillus plantarum, a strain proven to reduce oxidative stress and stimulate brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the protein your brain needs to grow and repair nerve cells. In 2020, researchers writing in Microorganisms found that fermented vegetables significantly improved cognitive performance and mood stability in seniors over a 10-week period. Participants who consumed sauerkraut had better working memory and emotional regulation compared to the control group. That same year, a study in antioxidants reported that the polyphenols and lactic acid from fermented cabbage protected retinal ganglion cells from oxidative damage. These cells are critical for transmitting visual signals from the eye to the brain. When they're inflamed, you get blurry vision, poor contrast detection, and difficulty reading in low light. Margaret, 72, a retired librarian, told me, "I used to read for hours. Now I can't finish 2 pages without my eyes tiring and my head going foggy." She wasn't sick, just imbalanced inside. After adding raw sauerkraut to her lunch daily, within weeks, she lit up. I'm reading again. It feels like someone turned the lights back on. In my head. That's the power of feeding the gut so it can speak clearly to the brain. But not all sauerkraut is equal. The kind that sits on grocery shelves for months, pasteurized, lifeless, and useless for neurons. What you need is raw, unpasteurized sauerkraut, typically found in the refrigerated section. Look for labels that say live cultures or naturally fermented. A few tablespoons a day is enough. Add it to eggs, sandwiches, or salads. Don't cook it. The heat kills the microbes. Let it stay alive so it can do what it was made for. Fermented cabbage may not sound like much, but when it comes to supporting brain and eye health, few foods are more overlooked or more powerful. Kimchi might be bold and spicy on the tongue, but its real power lies far deeper in how it protects your brain and sharpens your vision from the inside out. Made through a traditional fermentation of Napa cabbage, radish, garlic, ginger, and chili, kimchi is one of the most powerful probiotic-rich foods in the world. Unlike plain fermented vegetables, kimchi offers a complex mix of live bacteria, antioxidant compounds, and anti-inflammatory agents for older adults. This combination does more than support digestion. It directly impacts mental clarity and visual performance. At the heart of kimchi's neurological benefits is its ability to regulate inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which increase dramatically with age. These two processes damage neurons, disrupt neurotransmitter balance, and impair blood flow to the brain and eyes. A 2020 study in Nutrients found that older adults who regularly consumed kimchi experienced improvements in memory recall, executive function, and emotional balance compared to those who didn't. Researchers noted reduced levels of inflammatory cytokines and increased gut microbiome diversity, both linked to better brain signaling. But kimchi's benefits go beyond the brain. The retina and optic nerve are also vulnerable to the same inflammatory and oxidative processes that affect cognition. A 2021 paper from the Journal of Functional Foods revealed that compounds in kimchi, particularly fermented garlic and chili extract, reduced oxidative stress in retinal cells and improved mitochondrial activity in eye tissues. That means stronger energy production in vision-related neurons essential for sharper sight and better contrast sensitivity. One of kimchi's key microbial strains, Lactobacillus sakei, has been shown to produce gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA, a calming neurotransmitter that supports focus and lowers anxiety. In aging brains, GABA levels often drop, contributing to restlessness, poor concentration, and sleep issues. By naturally boosting GABA production, kimchi helps restore the calm, focused energy that many seniors feel slipping away. The antioxidants in kimchi, including vitamin C, carotenoids, and capsaicin from chili, add another layer of neuropy protection. These compounds help neutralize free radicals in both brain and eye tissues, preventing long-term damage and supporting cellular repair. Not all kimchi offers the same benefit. The kind stored on dry shelves is usually pasteurized and lacks live cultures. Choose raw, unpasteurized kimchi from the refrigerator section, labeled live probiotic, or naturally fermented. Just 2 tablespoons a day can support brain and eye health. Avoid cooking it. Heat destroys the good bacteria. For sharper thinking and clearer vision, kimchi is a spicy natural ally worth adding to your plate. Let's turn all of this knowledge into something real. Something you can do right now to start feeding your brain, restoring your vision, and calming the inflammation that's been quietly building up for years. You don't need a complicated detox. You don't need fancy powders or expensive treatments. All you need is 4 simple fermented foods worked gently into your daily meals, one at a time. Day 1 starts with yogurt. Choose plain, unsweetened yogurt with live cultures. In the morning, have 1 small bowl alongside breakfast. You can add a few blueberries or a drizzle of honey if you'd like. This first step reintroduces key probiotic strains that help repair the gut lining and boost serotonin production for memory and mood. On day 2, bring in miso. A warm miso broth before dinner is perfect. Just don't boil it. Stir 1 teaspoon of miso paste into a cup of warm water or soup after cooking. It calms the immune system, reduces brain fog, and helps improve circulation to the optic nerve. It's simple, savory, and soothing. Day 3 is for sauerkraut. At lunch, add a few tablespoons of raw, unpasteurized sauerkraut to your plate. Eat it cold, with eggs, salads, or even on toast. The living bacteria in sauerkraut stimulate neuron growth and clear away mental haze. It also supports retinal health, especially for night vision. On day 4, bring in kimchi. Add a spoonful to your rice, your soup after cooking, or simply enjoy it on its own as a side. Just a couple tablespoons is enough to help balance brain chemicals like GABA, reduce anxiety, and support sharper mental processing. You don't have to stop after day 4. Once your gut starts sending clearer signals, your brain and vision will feel the difference. You can rotate all 4 foods throughout the week in any combination you enjoy. And if you miss a day, don't worry. This isn't about being perfect. It's about creating a steady rhythm your body can trust. A rhythm that your brain recognizes. A rhythm that your vision depends on. The gut-brain-eye connection is real. And the way to nourish it doesn't come in a pill. It comes from simple, time-tested foods. Alive with the very microbes your nervous system was designed to work with. Just one bowl, one spoon, one bite at a time. That's how you start rebuilding from within. If you've stayed with me until now, thank you. That already tells me something powerful about you. You still care. You care about your mind. You care about your eyes. And most of all, you care about living the rest of your life with clarity, purpose, and strength. I want you to remember this. You are not stuck. Your brain is not broken. Your eyes are not fading beyond repair. They're simply waiting for the right signals, the right nourishment to come back to life. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You've already seen how just a few tablespoons of sauerkraut, a warm cup of miso soup, a bit of yogurt in the morning, or a spoonful of kimchi with dinner can begin to shift everything. These are small steps, but the body listens. The brain listens, and over time, those steps become momentum. The gut is not separate from your mind. It's part of it. And every time you feed it right, you are feeding your memory, your focus, your vision, and your future. I hope this video gave you not only information, but hope. Real grounded hope that you can start feeling sharper, thinking clearer, and seeing better no matter your age. If it did, please consider liking this video, sharing it with someone you care about, and leaving a comment below. I read them, I learn from them, and they remind others that they're not alone. And if this is your first time here on Senior Health Compass, I invite you to subscribe. We share practical, science-backed insights like this every week, always with warmth, clarity, and deep respect for your journey. Your health doesn't end at 60. In many ways, it's just beginning again with more wisdom, more intention, and a little help from nature's most powerful foods. Until next time, take care of your body, listen to your gut, and keep your eyes open to the beauty that's still unfolding.